Two dead girls. Two dead girls.
Dead girls. Hey everybody, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Lisa.
And we are
Two dead girls. Yay.
So, guys, if you have not yet seen Season 5, Episode 10, titled Them, turn this video up.
We're going to spoil it.
Contains a lot of spoilers. Hey, Lisa, do you know that last week I actually said, rest in peace, Tyrese, and then we announced that we were going to...
I saw somebody said that. That's funny. Well, hey, you know what?
Wah, wah. Thanks for noticing.
We suck. All right. So, the name of this episode was called Them.
Yeah, I don't really know what do you think the title meant?
Them, The Walking Dead.
Them, is that who them is? We is The Walking Dead?
That's what Rick said. That's what Rick said.
I don't know. I kind of found the episode a little deceiving, probably until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We met a new friend.
That was actually the high point of the episode. Yes. So
for me, absolutely. So the episode opens up and it's Maggie and she's alone. Well, she does have a little bit of company in the form of a walker and she's crying.
Yep.
And at that point I knew how bad off they were when she licked her tears off of her hand. Mm-hmm. I was like, waste not, want not. Any bit of moisture that you can get, like she's taking advantage of.
Yep. I like how the walker just kind of interrupted her cry fest. She got up, stabbed him in the head, and sat back down and kept crying.
Yeah.
It was just like a nuisance to her. It wasn't even anything.
So they're scrounging. They're foraging for anything they possibly can get.
They're scrounging.
Ew, what do you have?
It's a worm.
Ugh.
Daryl was eating the worm.
Ugh.
That
I have eaten worms.
Shut up.
They've been covered in chocolate.
Ew.
I ate crickets and larvae covered in chocolate.
You're gonna make me gag.
Don't gag.
Well, did you have a reaction when Daryl ate the worm?
Yeah, I did actually. I did. That was one of the reactions that I have for this week.
So we're gonna start this episode off with a reaction right off the bat of Daryl eating the worm.
You.
Oh, what's happening?
Food?
No. Oh. Don't do it, Daryl. Okay.
Do what you gotta do. It's protein.
So yeah, so that was gross. So they're hungry, they're thirsty, they're lethargic.
I felt really bad. I kind of wanted them to keep traveling a little bit because they came. You saw all those dead frogs.
Yep.
So obviously there used to be water there. That used to be like a little like a creek or some type of a little bank of some kind.
Right.
I'm wondering if they wouldn't have traveled a little bit further down, would they have found water pooled someplace or something? I don't know. I don't know.
So they're walking, and Maggie asks Sasha, how much longer we got? Not meaning where they were going, meaning in general, obviously, but yeah.
How long would they be able to actually walk?
And then I thought it was interesting how Gabriel was trying to console Maggie.
Well, she was not having it.
She was not having it. She pretty much told him where to sit, so. She pretty much told him to F off.
Yeah, she told him off because he's talking like he knows
Herschel.
He knows Herschel and he knows her sister. She's like, you don't know them.
Right.
You don't know them.
So
and I like how she said, I used to be religious. Like she doesn't. Yep. She just doesn't have it anymore. She doesn't have faith anymore.
Yep.
They've been on the road for 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks now since Atlanta.
Yep. And everybody's getting a little annoyed with other people, you could tell. I kind of really like this Michonne and Sasha. Like, Sasha's just like, I feel like she kind of caused some problems in this episode.
What's that?
Michonne and Sasha. I feel like Sasha didn't listen to what the group was doing. Like when the walkers were walking up to the bridge and they were throwing them into the, the creek or whatever was down there, or just the down the hill.
Yeah, well, even when they were walking and they were behind them, Sasha's like, we could take them.
Right.
Michelle's like, no, we can't. She's like, well, I can take them. She just needs to kill something. She just needs to, it's like somebody, like she just needs to.
Yep.
Like when Andrea busted out when she was in Woodbury, and she just had to go and like kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And she had that moment of like, oh, like I still have it. Like it was like a release for her,
right, to
go and do that.
But she wrecked the whole plan because the walkers were coming. They were throwing them down, and everything was working out perfectly. And then she just, went in like a bull in a china shop and wrecked it.
Yeah, no, she screwed everything up. But going back to Daryl and Carol, she was saying, she's like, I know that you lost something back there.
Yep.
Meaning Beth.
And she said, you need to let yourself feel it.
You need to let yourself feel it. And she kissed him on the forehead.
And she gave him Beth's knife.
But all this time, you know that I'm always pulling for a Carol and Daryl like love connection. Mm-hmm. This episode kind of changed that for me a little bit. Like I kind of felt like Carol was very like not
motherly.
That Carol ever came off in like a sexual way or anything like that, but I found her to be so mothering that I feel like that's kind of what Daryl needs more than.
Yep.
Anything else right now?
Yep. It was a very nice moment because he let her be that to him,
I don't want to completely abandon my hope of
Carol and Daryl
going back to the wow, but that was a nice moment.
Yes, it was.
Carl found the music box, right? Who did he give the music box to?
He gave it to
Carl
Maggie.
Gave the music box to
Maggie.
To Maggie. Now I'm trying to remember back. Everybody that's watching, can you guys remember if on the farm, was there a music box with a ballerina in one of the girls' rooms on the farm?
I don't recall.
I'm wondering if this has more significance than it actually does. Not just because it's a little blonde ballerina that reminds people of Beth in the music box. But was there a music box on the farm?
Good question.
I don't know.
Then Maggie gets in the car and they're looking for stuff, and she sees the walker in the trunk.
You know who did that. It's the same people that kept the heads and torsos.
Yeah. But my question is why, okay, she closed the trunk, then she wanted to open it again. Why?
Right. Well, she wanted to kill it. She just didn't want to hear it scratching anymore. You know what I mean? Like in there, she knows it's in there. And when she went to go shoot the lock, I was like, no, you're going to draw attention to it. Like, then Glenn came, he's like, wait a minute, what's happening? She's like, it's in there, and I closed it, and it's still in there.
Yep.
Like after a while, when you have peace and quiet, and then you have to listen to that after a while. It's like you just want the sound to stop. I think. Mm-hmm. Just wanted it to stop.
So they're all sitting in the street now after they've ransacked these cars.
Yeah.
And Abe is drinking his booze.
Yeah, Abe found something good in the cars. Can I say something though?
Yeah.
How is that like? Humanly, you're a hairdresser. You know hair. Is it humanly possible to have that red? That's the reddest friggin' hair I've ever seen in my life.
Pretty sure he colors it. I'm pretty sure he colors it. It doesn't even match his mustache.
Man.
Yeah.
That is one ginger fellow, I'll tell you what.
So he's drinking the booze, and all of a sudden these dogs all come out.
Yep. This is what we thought everybody kind of thought that they were the wolves, but there were a few people that put some stills up, and, I try not to read spoilers, but I felt really comfortable saying that they weren't actually wolves.
But where did they all come from? It was a bunch of different dogs. They weren't all the same. It wasn't a pack. They came from somewhere. I
think that when something does happen, if there's ever if there ever actually is a zombie apocalypse, it wouldn't take long for domesticated animals to go back to their instinct, and just run on instinct.
Right.
And dogs do run in packs. So I feel like they probably found each other and,
I don't know. I feel like somebody led them to them.
You think so?
I feel like
there were a few moments of this episode.
I feel like they were being watched the whole time.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
That's possible. I mean, someone eventually leaves them water, and now maybe someone left them some food too, because Sasha did not hesitate to put them down.
Yep. So they proceed to have a dog barbecue.
A dog barbecue. Yes, they did. When they haven't eaten for a long time.
Yep.
They really go at it. And I felt really bad for Noah, because last week in Noah's house there were a lot of pictures of dogs. That was one of the things that I've been seeing being mentioned. So they obviously had dogs,
right?
The family. So I'm wondering if one of those dogs didn't happen to be one of Noah's dogs.
No.
And I thought it was interesting that Sasha came up to Noah. And basically he said, I don't know if I'm going to survive this. And then she said, well, you're not. If you think you're not going to, you're not going to.
Right.
Don't think, just eat.
Right.
And I kind of said, wow, kind of sounds like a walker. Don't think about it, just eat.
Exactly.
And
then I thought it was funny because Sasha says to Abe, booze makes things worse. And Abe said, no, you're going to make things worse. I was like, yes, that was the best line in the show last night.
Oh, God.
That was awesome.
Poor Abe. I think Rosita's had it too.
We haven't seen Tara or Rosita really. I mean, they need to put these people in a little more.
But did you notice that Eugene kind of defended Abe a little bit in a way?
Yep.
His decision to drink, I don't think it's going to affect everybody that much. Kind of let Abe do what he wants to do.
Yep. So Daryl goes off into the woods, and he sits down because he sees this barn. And he lights a cigarette up, takes a few puffs, and then puts it out on his hand.
Yeah. Just to feel something.
I was going to say, I guess that we're just seeing Daryl deal with his pain, how he deals with things.
Right. Again, going back to Sasha, like I said, she just needed to kill something. I think Daryl just needed to physically feel something.
Yep. And then he starts crying, and I was like, "Aw."
When Daryl cries, women of the world weep.
We weep.
It's bad.
So now is the point where they walk out into the street and there's all this water. Water from a friend.
From a friend. Who was the friend that you thought could have left it? Your first thought. Go.
I had absolutely no idea. Honestly, I had no idea.
I said it's Morgan.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that.
I said it's got to be Morgan. He knows the route that they're going because he has the map.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that.
But then when you think about it, why wouldn't he,
Yeah, no, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I don't know. The first thing I thought was Morgan.
But I really had a good laugh when Eugene went to grab a bottle and Abe smacked it out of his hand and like smacked it out of his mouth.
I thought that was a really dicky thing to do, but it was also a nice thing because Abe was almost like, dude, don't kill yourself for us.
Yeah, it
you
was
know what I
very
mean?
funny.
Like he was doing it like, you know.
It's like quality assurance. He starts drinking and bam, right out of his mouth. It was so funny. I laughed. It was good.
I looked at Rob, I'm like, my husband, I'm like, that's kind of dicky, but it's also kind of sweet.
Yep. That was funny. So it starts storming out now.
Oh yeah, it's a bad storm. It's really bad. And it's, everybody is like, everyone's loving it and catching raindrops on their tongue, but Sasha, Maggie, and Daryl just, it doesn't affect them at all.
Yep. But Daryl,
it's so weird that a group as close as they are, like, I don't know, to not recognize everybody else's pain and like their sadness. It was almost like they were celebrating it.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was weird to me, that scene.
Yeah. I said, Bill and I said that they should have opened all the water that was on the street, dumped it out, and let it just sit in the street there and let it fill up.
Yeah.
But Rick looks up and he sees that the storm is going to be really bad. It looks like it's not just rain.
No, it's really bad. And Daryl finally told them about the barn.
Yep.
That he saw when he was on his cigarette break.
Yes.
And they go into the barn, and there's a walker that a woman, not she wasn't always a walker, a woman that hid herself away. And Maggie notices that she has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I thought was, please don't take that gun and kill yourself, because there have been rumors swirling about like a Maggie suicide. Again, I don't read it. I see headlines or titles of things people post, and I just skip. But I saw Maggie suicide, and I said, oh my God, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did Carol say? Carol said,
some people try to make it.
Some people can't give up.
Right, like us. Like us.
And I think that really struck a chord with Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they really just you can't give up. Which is different for Carol, because I really kind of felt like for a while that she had given up a little bit.
Right.
Going off on her own and everything, but
so then later, first of all, I have to say I thought it was so weird to see Rick holding Judith.
I know.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
We'll see what happens when you don't have your babysitter anymore.
Wah, wah. But in the evening, they're all sitting around a little fire inside the barn, and Rick says his speech, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, he talked about his grandfather.
And he said, "This is how we survive. We are the Walking Dead."
We are the Walking Dead. And Daryl said, "We ain't them."
Daryl gets pissed.
Yep. No.
And he walks over to the doors. And I honestly, at this point, I thought that I didn't think it was really happening for some reason or another. Like, when Daryl walked over to these doors and all the zombies were outside, he went to look and he made a noise like, oh shit, like, and Maggie saw Daryl pushing, then Maggie ran. And then somebody else woke up and ran. Then they all started running.
Sasha. Yeah, I think it was Sasha. And, I mean, of course, they couldn't hear them coming because of all the noise from the storm.
Right. But, okay, so they're all pushing this herd, holding the door. But the way it stopped so abruptly, I looked at Bill and I said, okay, were they dreaming? Like, was it a dream?
That's right. That's exactly what I said.
I said it in my reaction, too, because it was just so abrupt, and I'm like, all of a sudden they're all laying on the floor.
I said, was that a dream?
It was just very awkward. It was a very strange, the way they set that scene up was just very strange. I don't know.
And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when the house plops down in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
After all the commotion in the tornado, and it plops down, and Dorothy just goes, oh, and like everything is silent and it stops.
Yep.
Sure enough, it was a tornado. I wonder if that's why they didn't do it that way.
And there was walkers up in the trees. I thought that was pretty funny.
Impaled and stuck to the ground.
Yep. But I think
we should say that. Didn't you have a reaction? We have a reaction for the herd.
There weren't many things to have reactions to in this episode. It was more of a just watching everybody cope episode. So yeah, so we both had a reaction to the herd.
We'll put that in here.
I think I called mine, if the barn's a rockin', don't come a knockin'. There we go.
Oh my god, they're screwed. What? Was there a tornado? What happened? So that was just a dream?
Oh my god. Oh god. What? That's not going to do anything. What was it, a dream?
So that was just a dream?
What was it, a dream? Yeah, so they go outside and everything is flipped over and trees are broken, and I can't understand how that barn is still standing in place.
Yep, someone was watching out for them.
So Daryl gives Maggie the music box.
Says that he fixed it.
And she goes and grabs Sasha.
They have a little sisterly kind of one-on-one time. They both have lost so much in such a short span of time.
Yep. And they go outside and they're sitting and they're looking at a sunset. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit because they're trying to play she opens the music box and it's not working. She puts it down. Who is it?
Who the frig is this guy coming up on them?
I don't know, but he had a good shave and a nice haircut.
He's all clean cut. Oh my god. Did you watch Lost?
No.
There's a moment in the show where this guy Goodwin just shows up, like out of nowhere. No one has any questions, but he just shows up, and it just reminded me so much of that moment. Like, oh hey, Aaron, what's up?
No, that's funny.
You know, like he was just so.
I don't know, I don't know who he is. I don't know the backstory. I've heard that he's from the comic book, so I don't know that part. But okay. I think he's going to be okay.
You think he's going to be okay?
They even said on The Talking Dead, not every guy they run into is going to be like the super villain. It can't be that way.
How does he know them?
How did he know Rick's name? Yes, exactly. Rick? Well, guess we'll find out, but I don't know.
DC is going to need another Rick Grimes.
Yeah.
Could he know Morgan?
Maybe.
Again, if the water maybe was left by Morgan, could he know Morgan somehow? Did he escape from Terminus? Like what, you know?
Yep. We don't know.
I don't know.
But I think this guy might be okay. That's just my first prediction because I have no clue who he is. I didn't read the comic books that far. No idea. I'm saying now I think he's going to be okay.
Famous last words.
I think he's going to be a person who's trustworthy. He seems like in the previews, he's on his knees. He's got his hands in the air. Now, how many people he's got with him maybe watching where he's at? He's on his knees. He's like, it looks like he's answering questions in the preview very nicely. But my only thing would be, unless he's got people, obviously, who know where he is that are staking out the barn also. I don't know. He seems pretty harmless. I don't know. Maybe he can get everybody a shower and a shave.
Maybe that would be nice.
That would be good.
They're starting to look a bit scraggly again.
Oh boy. So yeah, so this is how it ended, and I now, like, the whole episode was just kind of, it was like a lull, like we were just kind of watching people go through their things, and then at the end we were like, who's this guy? Like, of course, it's the end.
It was like the dun dun dun
Yeah.
moment. We were waiting for something to happen, and I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, there's only 20 minutes left. There's only 10 minutes left. Like, what could possibly happen?
Exactly.
To, I don't want to say save the episode. It wasn't really as far as action goes, but I mean, there was that great scene on the bridge. It just
Not every episode's going to be what we want it to be. It's not going to all be action-packed, zombie killing, somebody dies,
Exactly.
But
it's not all going to be like that.
But next week's going to be good, I think, for sure.
It was a good character building episode.
Exactly. So we will see next week who Aaron is and what his intentions are, I think, with our group. What
So
were you
last
talking?
week, I was saying how I was upset that we didn't get to see Herschel in any of the flashbacks. It would have been nice to see Herschel with Beth.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Espinoza left a fantastic comment on our vlog from last week, pointing out that the others still had their wounds. Bob had his stump, Beth had her scars, the girls had their wounds. Herschel's would have been just a talking head, and I think it would have taken away from the seriousness. And that's right. I mean, it really would have it wouldn't have been good at all. And it reminded me of that picture of you at Walker Stalker Con like this next to Herschel's head.
Next to Herschel's head? Yeah, that's funny.
We have to insert that here.
Oh my
it would have
gosh.
been really funny. So thank you, Mr. Espinoza.
That was a very good comment. Yeah, good point. So
I was saying to somebody else, that's why we love doing this. That's why we love having our own opinions about things and hearing the opinions of others, because it makes us think in a different way. And, it's like we have like 100 set of eyes watching the same thing as we are and pointing out things to us, and maybe we can shed some light on things for you.
Exactly. So yeah, that is it for this week.
I guess that's it for episode 10.
I'm excited for next week. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Aaron and and next week on The Talking Dead, Michonne is a guest. Did you see?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm
cool.
excited to see her on there too.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. It'll be good. We'll have more reactions next week. I didn't have a zombie kill of the week because there weren't any like exciting zombie kills this week.
I kind of was that the one that got scalped on the bridge. He was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. But I didn't have like my usual gagging reaction to it, so it's not even worth it to put in.
I had a gagging reaction to Daryl eating the worm, as you saw. That was pretty gross. Whoa. All right. Well, until next week, guys. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jessica.
And we are
Two Dead Girls.
Two Dead Girls.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Two Dead Girls.
Dead girls.
Two Dead Girls.
Dead girls. Dead girls. Dead girls.
That if you can't read that, it says chocolate covered insects.
Let me read the back and see which one you read.
Okay, they're either crickets or larvae. We went to the Children's Museum today, and I had to get some chocolate covered bugs because I've always wanted to eat them.
Cricket or insect larvae?
Yeah, crickets or insect larvae. Ready? Get me, honey. All right, I'm gonna eat this big, fatty, fat chocolate fellow.
I want to see.
Oh my god, it tastes like Rice Krispies. Do you want this one? This is a cricket. Get him, get him.
Is that good?
Now mommy's gonna have the last one, okay?
Bobby, do you know that your ancestors moved here 400 years ago so they wouldn't have to eat bugs.
And this little guy is a cricket. You can see his legs right there. I'm going to bite him in half just to see what he looks like.
I bite him in half.
I'm bite him in half.
I bite him in half. I want to bite him in half.
There's his guts.
I want to bite him in half. I want to bite him.
We ate bugs! You're my bug buddy. Can I have a kiss, bug buddy? We got bug breath. Look at the camera.
Say
Say bye.
Bye.
Say we ate bugs.